like this weird competition of cool.
You take a reef shot to the side of the head for a wave like that.
If I can win this, this will be the greatest moment of my life.
All the girls are surfing so well. They're beautiful inside and out.
Going skagless is a whole nother realm, like a fast version of body surfing.
Something about just getting in the ocean and cleansing ourselves of everything else that's going on in the world.
My job description is student of surfing.
Board Stories TV is proudly presented by Cholo's Homestyle Mexican in Haleiwa Town, Waimea Valley on Oahu's North Shore, and OC16, 100% original, 100% local. Aloha, and welcome to Board Stories. I'm your host, Chris Latronic, bringing you another episode packed full of drama and exciting action. This time, we relive the saga of Zeke Lau's tense campaign for World Tour qualification. The big Hawaiian recounts the moments of falling just short and counting on our friend and fellow teammate Kanoa Igarashi to open up a spot for him. We also look back at John John Florence's run through the Triple Crown, which saw the world champ take a third title in the prestigious series. And the Quiksilver team unleashes on the North Shore's 7-mile miracle. Woo, we got a whole lot coming up, but as always, we start off with the tube of the week, this time with the enigmatic Bruce Irons. This tube of the week highlights the one and only Bruce Irons, who came to the North Shore this season sporting a fresh blonde do. While the hair may be new, Bruce's tube riding skills are as good as they've ever been, with the Kauai native finding a slurry of barrels at the off-the-wall proving grounds. Next up, we look at John John Florence's Triple Crown run, right here on Board Stories. In a year with wins at the Eddie Waimea Bay Big Wave event and a World Championship Tour title, many look to John Florence to cap it all off with a band's Triple Crown of Surfing victory to finish the year at home. Marking the third time the young Hawaiian surfer would take Triple Crown honors, John John started the series in Haleiwa as the Hawaiian pro, looking strong and poised. With fun-sized surf on hand, John utilized his small wave repertoire to tear apart the right-handers round through round. In the final, with John maintaining a slim lead, second place Federico Marias needed a 7.34 to take it out, but he came up just short, allowing John the win. On to the second stop at Sunset Beach, The Vans World Cup of Surfing showcased open water shredding at its finest. Starting off strong in his opening heat, John kept his momentum going, but in the very next heat would fall victim to lully surf, dropping out of the event early. While John still maintained the Triple Crown points lead, another finals finish by Federico Moraes and a win by Jordy Smith would tighten up the race heading into Pipe. As the final stop of the series, with everything on the table, the Billabong Pipe Masters drama was at its peak. With another strong opening performance and average surf, John looked sharp heading into the later rounds with a better forecast on the remaining 2 days of the event. Steaming through heats, looking ultra comfortable in the hollow backdoor rights, the Triple Crown title looked like John's for the taking. But a slip up in the quarterfinals left the door open for Jordy Smith and Kelly Slater to potentially take it out while still going through the draw. Fortunately for John, Kanoa Igarashi put a stop to all that, giving John the title.
I'm not really going to think of it doing better than last year. I'm just going to work on all the little mistakes and things that I made this year and just try to better myself in every way that I can. You know, I have a lot of things in my head that I can kind of better myself, and even when I won the world title this year, I was like, oh wait, I feel like I can just keep going, keep being better, and so I'm just excited to, you know, the start of next year kind of start working towards that.
Don't go anywhere. Zeke Lau talks about the nail-biting finish that would see him qualify for the WSL Championship Tour. Stay locked to Board Stories. Welcome back to Board Stories. Oahu's Ezekiel Lau has been chomping at the bit to qualify for the Elite World Tour for several years now, coming very close in the process. Many thought this was going to be his year, but the young Hawaiian fell just short on his own. Luckily for him, his friend and teammate came through when it mattered most.
Everything's been a learning curve. I mean, the last 3 years have been really good for me. I think, you know, I've gone through a lot of ups and downs, different sponsorships, different organizations I'm working with, different coaching. So now I'm with Quiksilver now, working with Jake Patterson, and I travel with Leo and Kanoa. You know, it's great, and it's been a long ride, but you know, I think it's worked out, and I wouldn't want it to happen any other way. Sunset was a crucial event, losing first heat at Haleiwa where, you know, I could have definitely just shut it out there, but that quarterfinal heat was supposed to be the heat that, you know, if I made it, I would have jumped into that top 10 slot, and I did. But, you know, with the calculations and how many guys were making heats that day and so close to qualification, it kept shuffling as guys were making heats. So I was the first heat of that round, so they had said I made it, but I think there's like 4 or 5 more guys that were in qualification that surfed after me that had actually made it. So I just had to get 3rd place in that heat, and ended up getting 4th, and Jack Freestone got 3rd, and he had qualified. Ended up coming down a pipe with my career basically in Kanoa's hands.
It was almost like a joke, you know, we kind of joked about it before even Sunset and Haleiwa happened. Like, imagine if like Zeke's 1 spot out and Kanoa's like the guy that's got to get him in, and we fully joked about it like 3 times, and then the fact that it happened was pretty crazy. But you know, everyone would come to the house just to watch my heat, you know, just a bunch of guys that would probably normally not come and stuff. And the guys are being so cool to me, but in the back of their head, you know, they know like I gotta perform. And I remember Zeke was kind of just like, you know, this is like a pretty important night, but he was just kind of like trying to keep calm, and he didn't want to like talk to me, but he didn't want to, you know, not be there, but he did want to be there. I was watching from the couch, and I was just like, wow, the kid got 2 back-to-back waves right after each other. I was like, wow, this kid's gonna make this heat. You know, it started sinking in, like, wow, you're in the quarters, like this is serious. They're 1 heat away from like making things happen right now. So then when the
man-on-man Jordy heat came, I was like, I'll just go sit right back on the couch, the same spot. It's perfect because all the cameras are outside. I was like, I don't want to be like watching the heat with them all right there.
In my head, I'm like, you know what? I do have this. Like, I got this. But then I can see in people's eyes, like, oh, he's got Jordy. Like, that's not gonna happen. Like, Ross Williams, like, yeah, you know, he's got Jordy. Like, yeah, it's pretty unlikely, but you know, that'd be pretty sick if it happens. And it's like, you know what? Sick. I'm glad I heard that. I went out there with my game plan, and I didn't back down to Jordy on the first exchange, and I pushed him deep, and everything was going to plan. And I waited for my wave, and it came in the perfect angle of the wave I was looking for, and I just gave it the biggest pump I had, and I was on the foam ball. Thing sucked me down. It did the whole just wave split thing. The water disappeared from under me, and then it got all clear, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm still so deep. And I was just pumping, like, come on! Seriously, I might have been screaming in the barrel. I was just like, I'm in the hard part, just let me out, please. And literally, I looked straight at the house, and I just saw Zeke, like, I can just see Zeke claiming it.
And I don't know if I fell asleep or I like blacked out or something happened. The next thing I know, I was jumping up and cheering and running outside. I like blanked out for like a second. I didn't even remember watching the wave like live. And they ran out the score and I was tripping. I started like shaking. I couldn't control my breathing or any of my emotions. I was just about to cry. And then the horn rang and it was just like, I just wanted to just drop to the ground. The fact that he was so stoked for me, he was looking at me, pointing, I was just tripping out. You know, I was talking to him, he was like, would you have really done it if you weren't in this situation? And he just goes, I don't know.
A moment I'll never forget, and it was just such an emotional thing, and everyone was so happy. And thinking about it, he's giving chicken skin now, but it was just a special day that, you know, I'm sure a lot of people won't forget, and I won't forget for sure.
Put on the best performance of his life and on the biggest stage, and it was awesome to see him do good, and you know, I'm just glad I got the benefit from it.
Coming up, the Quiksilver team takes to the North Shore to showcase their shredding. Board Stories will be right back.
Burrito, taco salad, black bean nachos, yum, fish tacos, mojito, margarita.
Homestyle Mexican food and the best grinds in the islands. Cholos at the North Shore Marketplace. Live the dream!
This is how you get there. Find the ocean at Surf and See. This is how you find the best gear. Everything for the ocean is here. Don't just sit around the beach. Adventure is in your reach. This is how you get there. Find the ocean at Surf and See.
Don't up and fight it. No pressure.
Maybe his best day of his surfing life. Kanoa Igarashi, your runner-up here at the White Masters as a rookie on tour.
That'll be a waste of chicken.
Oh, I drink that at home all the time. I had to stop. I was getting fat.
Fuck,
ready? That's what my kids
this
Go over it.
Thank you, mate.
Give me some. Give me some of that.
Boys ran out of wax. Luckily, I found some on my windshield. Making friends.
We're not done just yet. Stay tuned for the spill of the week. Up next on Board Stories. Promotional support for Board Stories is provided by Waimea Valley, where Hawaii comes alive. Check them out online at waimeavalley.net and give them a visit next time you're on the North Shore. Welcome back to Board Stories. Man, I am stoked for Ezekiel Lau making the tour. We all knew it was only a matter of time. And John John Florence winning the Triple Crown, man, you are an animal, my friend. And a big shout out goes to Kanoa Igarashi. You have come through for the Hawaiians. You are our hero. As for us, be sure to check out freesurfmagazine.com for more great action. We leave you now with our spill of the week. As for me, your host, Chris Atronic, I'll see you in the water. Aloha. This spill of the week takes us back to Pipeline, where an early season swell saw maxing conditions on the famed reef. An unidentified surfer cleanly navigates the tricky part of this tube, but while finding the exit, wears the lip square on his back. A good effort indeed, but once again, Pipeline has the final laugh. I did already. I saw the pit where I bought him some new Yeezys last night. He's been wanting those for like ever. And, I was a previous sneakerhead before, so one of my friends that have a store in town, he helped me get the sneakers yesterday, so I bought it.